Good morning, and we are looking at Luke 23:39 through 43, and this is where Jesus saves the repentant criminal. One of the criminals who had been crucified said to Jesus, "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." One of the criminals crucified with Jesus joined in the mockery and scorn, and he reasoned that if Jesus were the Messiah, he should save those being crucified. Save yourself and us. But the other criminal said, "You're under the same sentence. Don't you fear God? We're getting what we deserve for our actions, but this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said to Jesus, "Remember me when you come into your kingdom." Both Matthew and Mark indicate that both criminals began with mocking Jesus, and then later, as the hours went on, they trusted Jesus for what who he was. A second criminal respected God. Do you not even fear God? He knew his own sin. We're under this condemnation. We're getting what we deserve. He knew Jesus. This man has done nothing wrong. He called to Jesus. He said to Jesus, and he called to Jesus as Lord. He said to him, "Lord." He believed in who Jesus was. He said, "Remember me when you get in your kingdom." And he believed in the promise of everlasting life. It's worthy to remark that this man appears to be the first deathbed conversion, literally. I assure you, today you'll be with me in paradise. Here's a remarkable thing about this conversion. We'll talk about last minute. It's up to Jesus who he saves and who he doesn't, but it's also up to us to respond. It says paradise, and that is a Persian word, and it comes, actually the Greek version of the word means garden or park. It's like the Garden of Eden. It was a paradise, and it's a future bliss according to Isaiah 51:3. The present passage represents a state of just bliss that you go to directly after death. And 2 Corinthians 12:2 through 4 is interesting. It says, Paul writes, "I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago was caught up into the third heaven. Whether in the body or out of the body, I do not know. God knows. And I know that this man was caught up into paradise." And of course, he's referring to himself. "Whether in the body or out of the body, I do not know. God knows. And he heard things that cannot be told, which man may not utter." What a remarkable place that we can't even understand it. Paul used the terminology common in that day. He referred to the blue sky as the first heaven, the starry sky as the second heaven, and the place where God reigned and lived as the third heaven. So that's another whole complete study, but today, you're going to be with me in that place, paradise.